I have a stalker who I'm afraid wants to hurt me. The police won't help. I go to work every day, early in the morning, 5 AM, because I work at a hospital, and for the past month, this truck has been following me, flashing aftermarket high beams at me, passing me illegally, and has run me off the road. I always do what I can to ignore them to get away from them, as I'm not one for confrontation. But they still follow me. They know where I work and I think they know where I live. I've called the police many times, giving them the person's truck description, license plate, and the best description I can get since it's so dark out and they wear a hoodie. They tell me to ignore them, turn around, etc. They never come out and they never follow up to file a report. I've been having our hospital security escort me from the lot to the door for about 3 weeks now. I had security search their plate, and they are not an employee either. This driver knows my schedule, knows when I'm going to work and the route I always take. They often show up on different roads or come out of different lots. It's never the same spot 2 days in a row. It's as if they are sitting around waiting for me. Last week I started taking a different route to work. It's not that out of the way, but I wanted to avoid this person. By Thursday, they had found my new route and were waiting for me as soon as I took my exit, and followed me to work yet again. I don't know what to do and the police won't help unless this guy actually tries to hurt me. I'm afraid one of these days this guy is going to try and kill me and I seriously don't know what to do. What are my options? Can you afford to hire a private investigator? They would be able to tail the person, and you'd have a witness to them following and harassing you. Once you know where they live, you can find out who they are, and with the documentation you can seek a restraining order against them. I'd also try using a different vehicle for a while. Maybe rent a car for a week, see if they still follow you. Physically walk into the station and demand to fill out a report. Get a copy of it. Ask them to tail you to work. I know they won't. I don't want to alarm you, but this is major cause for concern. If the local cops won't help, document that they won't. Record the audio, but check state laws. If your state is two-party, it means both parties must agree to record. If you are lucky and live in a single-party state, as long as one person in the conversation knows it's being recorded, it's legal. Record them saying they won't help, etc. Find out who else has jurisdiction. The state police, a county-wide sheriff's department. Maybe they will take it seriously. Sometimes there is a county-wide sheriff's department on top of a town police. See if they will run the plate or follow you. Have you tried calling 911 while you are being followed? You might get some traction if it is happening right then and you tell them they are trying to run you off the road, even if they aren't right then. Get rear and front dash cams 100%. You need to invest to get this solved. They are getting brazen if they don't care that you know they are following. If you suspect anyone, see if you can find that vehicle where they work in their parking lot. I second the state police and the sheriff's department. If you're taking a highway, there might be some state patrolmen who would help. Honk. As soon as that car is getting close. Honk 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 honk. Attract attention to yourself. Wake up everyone if you have to. You will be known as the honking lady at 5 AM, but more people will see that car following you. That's scary as heck. I'd go to the police department every single day until they did something about it. Maybe even tell your work you're going to be late one day and drove directly to your local police station. Make sure everyone at your work knows about this and share as many punctures of the truck and license plate with as many people as you can. Obviously make sure you carry mace or a stun gun, taser, in your car. If you can get a license and know how to use one, I would also buy a gun. Do you have a garage to park in? If not, I would be very leery of walking out to your car in the dark. You're right in that he probably knows where you live. Please keep us updated. All of these things plus, rent a car for a week, leave for work 30 minutes earlier. I'm sorry it's so early already. Every day you leave work, drive to the police station. You could even tell them you're coming. Maybe if the person keeps following you thereafter 3+ times, hire someone to follow them after they follow you and find out where they live, then pay someone to pop their tires. Def not a good idea, but one can dream. First off, get a real-time tracker on your phone that family and friends have access to until this is resolved. I suggest Life 360. Second, if you've only spoken to a municipal police department, Try the county sheriff office. If you don't get any luck there, contact your district attorney's office and demand someone review the facts and evidence you have. You have a right to have a report taken. Get some type of personal defense. Obviously a gun is preferable if you're comfortable carrying one and can, or already know how to use it, but any sort of defense method that will buy you time is better than nothing. Taser, OC spray, knife, dashcams are cheap now. I'd recommend investing in one to supplement your case. Also, I don't know where you live, but most state vehicle registrations tie back to residences and names. If you take that license plate to the district attorney investigator, they should be able to run it and get that info, follow up, and find out who is behind this. Quick solve to get a restraining order going. If the local police are your only option, work your way up the chain of command. If you don't get heard there, take what you have to the newspaper, take to Facebook, make this person publicly known. You'll get a better response than you think. From a law enforcement professional, I'm truly sorry you're not receiving the help you need in this. I hope this comment helps. I am no expert, but a few things come to mind. 1. If you are in the USA, keep a weapon with you. If not, even pepper spray works. 2. Can you carpool with a friend or colleague? 3. Install camera in your car front and back. 4. Always share your GPS to and from work with a friend, family you absolutely trust. 5. Not sure if this is possible, but have someone check your phone and car to see if they have put a tracker on you to know where you are. 6. Do you live alone? If not, have someone escort you inside or meet you at the door. 7. Hire a PI who and shadow you and shadow the person as a result. 8. Talk to a lawyer, maybe they can help you give ideas on how to have the cops take a complaint. 9. Try to take more crowded roads. Also curious, does this person follow you any other time outside of work? Also, what time do you get back? Try TPC if it's in daylight. Sorry to say it, but I think everyone is being way too passive here with suggestions. OP, this person is exhibiting psychopathic behavior and you must act as if your life is in imminent danger. Now, I have a few questions. Are you in the US? If so, are you willing to say what town and state? This tiny police station might spring into action if it has 50 Redditors crawling up its butt tomorrow AM. If your town is so small remote that they have just one officer on duty at a time, I would assume they know who this person is. Have you gotten any indication that they do? If not, something's not right here. More important, there's an extremely high likelihood that you know who this is too, or at least what it's related to. I was surprised to not hear more speculation from you. Is there anything you're not telling us in that regard? Any further details for context or suspicions you have? I think I speak for most of us when I say if someone was stalking me daily for a month and trying to run me off the road, I could get that list of names down to like 2. Please give us some more information. Please go to the police every day until they proactively help. This right here. It sounds like you have already tried to sort this OP and you have gotten some good, practical advice here. I think one thing is apparent. You won't be able to resolve this on your own. You need to find a way to have someone with you in the morning. Whether they are in their own vehicle or riding with you, and whether they are a friend, colleague or PI, you need to find someone to work with you on this ASAP. Good luck and please keep us posted. You have the plate number. You should be able to get a name and address through a lawyer if the police won't provide it directly. Use that information to get a restraining order. You just have to explain to the judge what this person has been doing that makes you feel threatened. While you are waiting for your court date, get a dash camera, preferably with both front and rear video, to gather more evidence to provide the court to better ensure a positive result. Now, the restraining order will not magically make this person stop, but it does empower the police to respond. Breaking the restraining order is a clear criminal offense they can act on. Second this, I once had a stalker go to jail without bond for violating a restraining order. This may help you. Have someone you trust waiting in a parking lot or a street where you are typically followed from. Go about your day as you normally would. After your shift or errand, get back in your own car and let yourself be followed. Then your colleague should take note of the stalker's car, taking note of the make and model, following them as he follows you. Eventually, the stalker should stop following you and resume their normal day. Your friend should relay the places that the stalker goes, where they shop, eat, work, and live. In order for you to make certain that the stalker is not going to notice your friend following them, you should make sure that you are always going the same route. The longer the better. Then when it feels like your friend has been following the stalker for too long, have them turn off, taking note of where they left. Plot this point on a map and eventually, after repeating the process as many times as necessary, you will know where this person lives. From this information, you can get a physical description and possibly even a positive id. Be tenacious and patient. I don't take any responsibility for your actions. So shorten down. Have someone stalk your stalker. Got it? Do you have someone you can stay with for a few days? I hate to ask, but are you sure they don't have a tracking device on your car? Go stay with someone on the other side of town and see if they find you. I would suggest having a friend follow a few minutes behind you on your way to work in the morning, then they can continue to follow your stalker from a safe distance for a while. It will be easy to keep in contact with your friend with your phone while you're driving. Also a dash cam and pepper spray. Make sure you have your hands free on your phone so you can call 911 when you know that you're being followed. One thing I have not seen being mentioned is checking your social media accounts. Go through your followers and following on your accounts and try to find people that might be living in the general area or if anyone has posted the picture of the truck in particular. After compiling a list, start checking names off. Call the state police and tell them the local police don't want to deal with it. If they don't want to deal with it, call the emergency number immediately the next time he follows you. If they say to ignore him or any other nonsense like that, just reply, "That's okay. My dad gave me a gun to handle it on my own if you won't." You'd be surprised how that gets the units rolling. I would approach the media and let them follow you. Ask them why the cops won't do their job. I bet things happen quickly after that. Get a self-defense weapon. Yesterday, whatever you are most comfortable with, knife, taser, gun, pepper spray, etc. There's also an app called SafeTrack that uses pressure sensors, so if you lift your finger off a certain button it'll call emergency personnel and send your GPS location. You obviously have to turn it on before you enter a situation like a parking garage, on the street, etc. Best of luck OP. So, a few things no one has mentioned. Along with documenting, make it obvious that that's what you're doing. Make a big show about taking out your phone, staring him down, and taking a bunch of pictures. If he follows you in a vehicle, drive to a well-lit area with lots of people and make a big show about how you are documenting his car. If it were me, I'd want to find out who this guy was and how I knew him. In order to do that, start with a license plate and try and get some info that way. I would also reset all of my devices and go completely dark on social media. You figure out how it is that he has access to you. If you need to use the internet, I would use Tor combined with a VPN. I would also get a motion activated camera for my car and a Ring doorbell. If you're not a fan of weapons, consider a rape whistle. They're cheap and if he's close enough it will blow out his eardrums. Go up the chain of command. Go into the station and ask to talk to the watch commander, then a detective. If they've tried to run you off the road, that's a crime. File a complaint against them. Don't be shrill, but let the investigator know that you are seriously concerned for your safety and that you have evidence to get the investigation going right off. When they open a case, keep in touch with the investigator. This is highly effective in letting them know that you take the case seriously and they will probably respond in kind. As others have said, get it on camera. You don't need to buy a dash cam. You can also use your phone with any number of off-the-shelf dash cam apps. Hey, I'm so sorry this has happened to you, but here are a few tips I've picked up after watching multiple different interviews with stalking victims and criminal psychologists over the years and even being stalked myself at one point. 1. Document everything. Keep a notebook and write down dates, times, description of the person, description of the car, videos and photographs if you can. A rear-facing dash cam might be the best option because it can record as you drive without arousing suspicion. I'd get some home security cameras too if you can afford them. They're not too expensive these days. 2. Get in touch with a stalking advocacy service. I'm based in the UK, so I'm not sure of what's available to you based on your location, but Google should bring up a few local results. These services will take you seriously and can offer advice and support. 3. Don't keep this to yourself. I know it might not be something you want to share with people, but it's really important that you let people know what's going on so they can sound the alarm should anything happen. If there's somebody you really trust, maybe download an app that allows them to track your location, such as Find My Friends. 4. I don't care if you're male or female. If you feel uncomfortable walking to your car after work, ask one of your colleagues to walk with you, and once you're in, lock the doors and text a friend to tell them you're leaving work and what time you expect to be home, and that you will text them when you arrive. If you don't text within 5-10 minutes of that time, ask them to contact the police. 5. Vary your routes, but try to stay where there are plenty of people and traffic. For example, don't take an old dirt road with minimal traffic just because you're trying to take a different route, as it makes you an easier target if they try to run you off the road. Not saying they will, it's just a precaution. 6. Take self-defense classes, or at the very least do some research on how to protect yourself if you're attacked. Always carry pepper spray or something you can do some serious damage with if you need to. Not sure if it's legal where you are. Personally, I wouldn't give a crap if I was at risk and it meant I could protect myself. Maybe consider carrying a taser. 7. This is entirely dependent on whether you can afford it, but if you have the money, maybe consider hiring a spy to follow this person while they're following you. That way they can see where they go after they've followed you, which could lead to finding out their identity. The spy should also be able to sort of act as backup when filing a police report too. I sincerely hope this resolves itself and that you stay safe. This must be terrifying for you. Good luck. Contact your county sheriff, and if they won't open a stalking report, next your state police. The truck owners should be contacted by these authorities to find out their intentions. Stay at a family member's house and take pictures of the truck when you feel like the dude isn't watching and share them to the police. The police potentially needs proof of this stalking. If none of this works, then I am sorry, dude. Hire a private investigator. I know it costs money, but you're worried for your safety here. I hate to put it this way, but what is your safety worth to you? What is your life worth to you? If you can't afford much, is there someone in your life who would help you out given the circumstances? I'm not sure what state you live in, but this most likely constitutes stalking, which the police should take a report for. I personally would install a front and rear dash cams to document the incidents if they happen again. Why don't you drive to the police station so they follow you and get it on cam so they have to take a statement? First, though, I would get a camera and put it on the back of your car. Then, when they start following you, make sure to turn in a place that can do this. But you want to make 3 lefts, then a right, or you can go whichever way the police station is. If they follow you during the turns, then it proves that because all you've done is make a huge circle. That means you have evidence. You need to start collecting evidence. Every time you call, demand they make a report and get the file number. You want a paper trail. Eventually, this person is gonna slip up, and when you see them in court, you'll have all the evidence to get their butt thrown in jail for a little bit, or at least enough for a restraining order. Have you ruled out if your car has a GPS or something hidden helping them track your coordinates? I know it may be costly, but how about using Uber or Lyft for the time being? At least you'd be with someone. If you're with people, you won't be as vulnerable. OP, I've been stalked before, and that anxiety is not something I wish on anyone. I didn't see this suggestion anywhere, but if your security team at work has seen this guy or his vehicle has his plates, you can ask them to assist you in contacting the authorities. That could be the local PD, the sheriff's office, etc. But they shouldn't have a problem helping you out, especially since this guy follows you to the hospital campus. Most medical center facilities are specifically set up to assist employees to prevent outside violence. If the security team has an issue, contact your HR department or employee relations manager team. The main thing most medical facilities are trying to prevent these days is either a code green or a code white, both of which this guy may have the capacity for. If anything else, contact your direct supervisor and let them know the situation. The hospital does not want a stalker on the campus with you, and will be motivated to protect you. Don't forget your car is a tool. Use it to leave any situation you don't like. Even if that truck causes an accident, leave the scene. Go to police station if there is an incident. Do not let damage to your car stop you from saving yourself. They make new cars every day. If you can, call the police while you're on the way to the station and let them know you've been hit and you believe the driver is dangerous and has a history of stalking you. That way it's clear you aren't in a hit and run collision but rather leaving for your safety. You say you live in a small town. Do they have a local paper? You could warn other residents and maybe get some people on your side that would be aware of the type of vehicle, as well as his typical stalking habits that you've noticed. Also, if the paper ends up at the local PD, maybe they'll realize how bad it looks and wrong it is to leave one of their frontline workers without protection or service to live in daily fear until something terrible could happen. This is ridiculous. At 5 AM in a small town, their officer is probably choosing Dunkin' over a wellness check on your commute. How hard is it to have an officer follow you a couple times? God forbid they take a break from doling out speeding tickets from a hidey hole on the side of the road to do their job description and protect you. I'll ask my only officer friend that I trust what advice he might have for you today and come back. If you ever get in an accident with this dong, do whatever you can to get away to the police station. Honk non-stop if you can't. Lock your doors and call police. Invest in a dash cam for both back and front. Get the sucker on tape. They can't deny helping if it's on tape and right in front of their faces. To add to what a lot of people have said, a weapon may feel secure to you, but please ensure you know the laws that pertain to you and your location. And holding a weapon that you aren't trained with may be turned around to hurt you. If you want to have a knife etc., please take steps to find a self-defense class and some training on how to safely defend yourself. If the first time you use pepper spray is during a direct engagement, you're increasing the chance for something to be misused and potentially harm you. Get yourself a firearm and spend an hour or more at the range learning how to use it. Make sure you've got good locks on your door. Change up your routes. Never take the same route 2 days in a row. Contact state police instead of city or vice versa. Oh honey, please be safe. I have no advice to give you aside from all of the other helpers in this subreddit. Do whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe. Thank you for coming to this subreddit and reaching out. Keep us updated. Something else I can think of is to try to get someone else to drive you to work. I know this is difficult right now. Maybe a man. Also maybe look up where the police station is and try to let the person there to see what happens and that you know. There's a lot of good advice on here so I'm not going to repeat what others have said. I noticed nobody else has mentioned some simplistic things I was thinking so I'll comment these. Does your car have keys that have lock buttons and car alarm on them? If so, carry your keys in hand to and from your car. You can press the alarm button if they start heading your way to attract attention and maybe scare them off. Your keys can also be used as a weapon if needed. If you notice them following you, take a little longer of a ride as you could also report the car is driving erratically and being a possible DUI or need of medical attention. Because it's a road safety issue, the police will have to try to check it out. Lastly, you mentioned you work for a hospital. You should bring this up with your manager and hospital security as a possible patient stalking you. They may be able to help further things with local enforcement. Here's my theory. You inadvertently offended this mentally unbalanced butthole somehow. Perhaps you cut him off in traffic or switched lanes at the last second. Who knows? And now he's determined to exact revenge by scaring you to death. Is there a friend you could move in with for a while until this guy finds another hobby? Is there someone willing to swap cars or loan you one for a couple of weeks? Have you thought about selling your car and getting another? It's clear he is getting off on your terror. Have you thought about hiring a private investigator? Someone to turn the tables on this butthole and stalk him for a few days? Please report back and let us know what's going on. This has been going on for a month and you haven't gotten any dashcams yet? If you can't afford them, do you have any old phones you could set up to record in your car? Did you memorize the license plate while they were behind you? If you're ever behind them, the model of the car should be near the license plate. If it hasn't fallen off, I don't know where you live, but it sounds like a really small town. I don't know your gender, but it sounds like you're POC by your one comment. If so, you probably don't need to hear this from me, but just in case, assuming this is happening and not paranoia, not saying it is, but it's always a possibility with a situation like this. There's a good chance the cops aren't helping because they don't care. could be one of their buddies, or even one of them. In fact, I'd bet money it's one or the other. If you're a woman, the chances of that go up by quite a bit. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.